Okay, welcome. I'm here today with Lucas Wilson, CEO of Signpost. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been awesome. This is a beautiful sunny day behind me. So what kind of a better day to have a conversation, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just dive in. First couple questions just about you and the company. Signpost offers robust tools for customer communication, especially and particularly for local and small businesses. What inspired the creation of Signpost, and what unique problems were you looking to solve in this space?
So I think my journey inspired signpost creation, right? So
Okay.
I am very much an SMB, either service or SaaS provider focused human. I think it is the most underserved part of our kind of economic environment. I also am the byproduct of an SMB business. Growing up, my grandfather had an SMB business. My family was very entrepreneurial. My immigrants on both sides of the family just coming in and try to figure out how the heck do we make a living in this land of opportunity, right? At 99% of the businesses in the world today, they're classified as SMBs and they have a trillion pieces of technology. I have been responsible for creating some of this noise and putting it in front of them. I was asked to help Signpost get on a turnaround journey, and we narrowed it down to the one thing we do really well. I talked to a couple of mentors of mine, one being Angie Hicks from A&G, and I said, what's the number one problem I could solve for your customer base? And she said, they can't answer the phone and they don't have the time to text back. A lot of them don't know where to meet their customers. Like communication now is not just on the phone or a text message. We would think that's enough. No, it's now through Facebook. It's now through, WhatsApp. It's now through the website. It's now like there's just multiple ways for a customer or prospect to get a hold of you. And we felt like, you know what? We're going to solve one thing. We're going to do a really good job of doing one thing and make it very clear what we do. And so that's kind of the genesis of Signpost in its newest version, and really simplifying how we can add the biggest benefit to the SMB ecosystem.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I can take a guess that a lot of these people are working out in the field, so it is really hard for them. But also, I've talked to a lot of people that, work in the kind of convenience store space, and I don't know if that's any of your customers. Yeah, because there's a lot of issues there with that too. So that kind of brings us to the next question. What are some of the best use cases for Signpost platform? Could you share a customer story of how they used the technology successfully in their business and the impact it had? And maybe highlight an example of the new AI receptionist.
Perfect. I can handle all three for you.
Great.
I actually was blindsided by who was looking at our website. So we have a phenomenal go-to-market partner in our business. She's brilliant. She's consistently daydreaming up, how do we better serve our customers, right? So we deployed a tool that kind of broke down for us who's visiting our website. If they have a LinkedIn connection, what their website is like, just tell us more about who's visiting. And it blew my mind. It's probably still what I spend most of my time doing in the evenings when I'm looking at it, because it is everyone from insurance professionals, logistics and production companies who need to communicate. It is small to medium business it's a restaurant. It's a lot of healthcare. It's mental health providers. The scope is it's really mind blowing when you're like, okay, this is literally anyone who requires a two-way communication with a customer to survive, right? Like that, those are the level of folks that are interested. Signpost has historically been known for serving home service providers. So if you think HVAC, plumbing, electrical, pest control, lawn service, I can give you smaller, really core SMB example. We have on the West Coast, an HVAC company that fundamentally has grown multiple locations because of using our service. Because when they pay for leads, they don't miss the calls. So then they just keep expanding. And they actually are quite testy when our service levels get out of shape. And they're like, look, we're counting on you, right? So you've got to deliver for us because you're a path of growth for us. And we have created a marketing budget around this. So they're a little more sophisticated than our average user, but it's a classic example of how that's not where they started, but it is where they are now. I will say, you look at maybe a larger corporation. We have a pest control brand, someone who is a franchise who is across the US. They utilize us to better understand how their marketing dollars are being deployed and then maximized. So they know that we don't miss calls. So then when the calls come in, the data that they're looking at is not skewed by maybe one of their franchisee providers who never answers the phone and says, this ad source sucks because I never get a lead out of this. Well, it's the fact they're not answering the phone, right? It's not the lead source. It's the fact that you just never answer it. That's a use case for us. And then you start to get into the AI receptionist side. It's again eye-opening for me because I really thought the AI receptionist side would just be a low-cost option for folks, right? They're like, look, I can't spend your $400 to $500 a month for a live receptionist, but I still know that I need a service that can schedule for me, that can, send out bills and invoices and reminders. We've actually deployed a very, very complex and robust offering that you can customize down to recording your own voice, and it can sound like you, right, on this AI
Very
agent.
cool.
Yes. We've seen two things. We have seen that low cost human who's like, look, I can't afford it anymore. The under $100 is what I need, right? And I'm a small user. That's what I need. We've also turned around and had interest from large manufacturing companies. And one of the folks is a small to medium business provider. He's a third-party retailer for a piece of technology. Can't get into who he is, but he focuses on motorhomes or RV space and yachts or boats that have this piece of technology on it. We actually are working on a program to field all of his inbound customer calls that let them know the current ETA on their account, allow them to either upgrade, downgrade, or order product as well for their account. So it's just a wide variety of either really remedial or very complex offerings that now having this AI offering, it's allowing us to serve even better, right? And be able to maximize that effort.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And it sounds like it's more than just a phone service or
It
a
is.
call intake service. Can you talk a little bit about the CRM component? Because I did notice that was a part of the platform.
Well, we suffer with one. If you say, what's your biggest roadblock? Our biggest roadblock is if we have 2,500 customers, I can promise you that they will have 2,000 different systems of record, right? That's just, that is the SMB space. So when we say, even on the live receptionist side, we say, we schedule, we will lock your appointments in, we will communicate with your customers as if it was you. We have to be subject matter experts in every one of these different CRMs. It doesn't matter if it's the homegrown mom and pop one that doesn't even exist anymore. We have to log into that system and act as them. So when we built this AI component, we didn't want to deliver to the market a just phone service. We didn't want to look, you've got voicemail on your cell phone. That's our number one competition, right? I've got a cell phone that I can use that. What we're trying to do is give you some space, some professional work-life balance and say, you don't have to have this thing connected to your hip. Let us take care of it for you. So when we found a partner to help us develop some of the technology, because we're also smart enough to know that we do not have PhDs in AI. And I think a lot of the market right now, the reason that they're developing just a basic AI service is that's what they can do, right? You take your basic chat GPT functionality, you plug it into voice and, hey, look, we've got AI, because everybody wants to be able to say, hey, look, we've got AI. We took it one step further. We wanted the AI functionality to match what our live receptionist can do. So on the AI side, we can log in to your CRM and we can schedule the call. We have a strong connection using, I think it's webhooks and Zapier to be able to make sure that look, maybe you need to send an email as a follow-up, or maybe you need to send a text message. And then part of the road to success for us on our product map is we're also going to attach SMS to where you don't just have an autoresponder via voice, but maybe you get an Angie lead that comes in and you want to have a text message sent out, start the conversation without you having to engage. That product is also coming here in the very short future for us as well, just to make it a more robust offering. We're trying to help you meet your customers where they are, and a basic remedial answering service doesn't get you all the way there.
Right. It sounds like a great assistant.
That's it. That's
I
what
could
we're
probably
trying
use
to deliver.
myself.
Yes. That's what we're trying to deliver. Because if you look at it, the part of why we have loyal customers on the live receptionist side is they value that we do more than just take a message, right? There's a lot of products out there that do a phenomenal job of just taking a message. That's not where we reside. We reside with more of a custom role, and we're trying to do the same with our AI agent.
Okay, great. And you mentioned other products out there. So that's a good segue into understanding the market a little better.
Yes.
So, in the local business and customer communication space, what trends are you seeing right now, especially around AI? And are there any emerging opportunities or challenges that you're going to take advantage of and prepare for?
So I actually will tell you yes. And it's going to be counter to what you think that I'm going to say, though. I feel like because technology is easier than it has ever been to develop, right? And it's out there and everybody wants to be on the cutting edge. I think we're trying to force feed the SMB space technology, right? And at the end of the day, I'll kind of explain to you how I'm looking at that. First thing I did when I took over at Signpost was start calling churn customers and just say, look, why are we churning customers? And you will be shocked. It has nothing to do with our product, the software that we provide, anything. They just want us to freaking answer the phone in a timely manner. That's all they care about, right? So like, they don't care about that. I'm sure if we had 100% answer rate, they would then care about the product. I get that. But the pain point for them is I'm paying you to answer the phone. Answer it 100% of the call. Don't leave my customers on hold during busy times. Like, I need you to do this effectively, right? So one of the pieces when I look at the market of who we're competing against, everybody wants to roll out web chat, SMS chat, AI focused things, email marketing. We can help you get leads. We can help you convert LSAs. We can help you. And the really bad part, I live this pain. You cannot do all of those things well. You just can't. No one has a big enough team. No one has the financial resources to do it. If I was a $700 million business, I would still be weak at something, right? There, you would still, because you have that bifurcated focus. So what I notice is it's a very congested space. And if I'm an SMB entrepreneur, it would be very hard for me to make the decision because everything looks the same. Everything feels the same. And then all of a sudden I get into it and I realize all these pieces where I don't get the service that they promised me I would get. We've been guilty of it at Signpost. We let our customers down quite often in trying to figure out our business model and trying to figure out where we need to plug headcount in. And it almost always ends with us offering less and focusing in more on just communication. Because when we get distracted, our core customers always suffer.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And then what about the rest of the competitive landscape? Like how, so I guess, are you saying that your differentiation is focus or are there other aspects?
No.
Okay.
No, I think so. And I will also tell you this, I think we lean too heavily into AI because I think the SMB space, there is still, they want efficiency via AI and there are many in the space that demand it. There's still no replacing, I apologize. There's still no replacing that live human touch, right? And in that SMB has built their business based on human connection. So they understand technology and they need it, they want it. But I think there's more to lean into around the technology making the humans more efficient than replacing the human in the SMB space. I am not an enterprise level leader. I wouldn't even come close to being able to speak on those pieces. But in the SMB space, our customers still want to feel that they are being represented by a live human.
So I think there's, your technology is helping manage some of the interaction, especially like making sure that that call is picked up on time. And I think the AI can really assist with that. But then there is this point where they want to interact, face to face or at least, on the phone. And a lot of the times these owners are wearing multiple hats because they are small businesses. So I guess like when do you see this transition happening and how is your technology kind of making this process easier for managing the hats? I guess that might be two totally different questions, but I think curious to know how that works.
Yeah, you're dead on. So all of our product, I guess, roadmap is around how do we make you more efficient as a human? Because I will say it's also a very scary place to be when we're saying replace you with this piece of technology, right? Like that's something that's like, wait a minute, I don't know. That doesn't feel right to me. This thing's going to get in there and just answer all my calls. It's part of like porting your phone number. Give us your phone number. We own it. We'll answer all your calls. So like, nah, I'm not doing that. I don't want you to port. I don't want to port my number. I want my number, right? This is 20 years in this phone. This is my number. So the avenue that we've tried to look at is, look, like scheduling. We need to make the AI tool be able to do it faster, right? When you look at autoresponders on the SMS side, it's probably what I'm most excited about. That tool, like it doesn't replace the fact that you want to text with your customers or your prospects. What it's going to do is anyone who has said, I need help is going to get better than instant service. And you have programmed it, right? Because we part of our intake and our setup, we have you review scripts. We have you review if-thens. This is what happens. Like we have you really customize, okay, this is what I want to do. Just like on the live receptionist side, almost every one of our phone calls is answered to a custom script. We do not have templates where you're just like, here, we're going to say this for you. Most of our customers are like, I don't talk like that. I want you to say this, right? So I think really doubling down on how we make the end user more efficient. Like, look, you're going to interact with your customers. We're going to ensure that they get what they need quickly. And then we're going to ask them, would you like to talk to a live human? Would you like to talk to such and such? Do you want us to set up a call? Maybe we should, we have this appointment open on this and this. Would you like for us to connect you? Like checking in with their customers to make sure that they're okay with technology handling next steps. And that when they are ready to talk to you, we're plugging them in for them to talk to you.
That's really great. That's really great. And then from the people that you're working with, you already mentioned that it's the picking up the call. People were churning because the call wasn't getting picked up on time. What other kind of feedback did you receive? What other features are they finding to be extremely valuable?
One of the simplest things we've ever done has turned around to be the most impactful. We have the gentleman that heads up our engineering team. He said, you know what? Our live receptionist, they're on a custom script. They get no real positive feedback. If you think about it, they're only hearing when something bad happens, right? And so we did this more from a selfish view, selfish lens. And he said, what I would like to do is put a thumbs up or a thumbs down in every live call and call recording, because we have a software platform that's called our messaging hub. When you become a subscriber of ours, you log in, you can listen live, or you can listen to every recorded call that we've ever taken for you, right? You can do the same with AI. All of it's in the recorded piece there. You can see text messages that were sent. You can see all of your communication within our software hub. We wanted to deploy thumbs up, thumbs down, and a comment box. Something super simple. It was one sprint from an engineering side. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. That sounds fine. It'd be okay. Our customers have turned out to love it, because what has happened is they don't have to call customer support and wait on hold for us to be able to say, on Saturday, I was ticked off over this call, and I'm now calling you Monday. And now I'm really worked up because 2 days have went by that I've been fuming over this call. They're giving it in real time. So one, our live receptionists are getting real time feedback. They're able to see it real time, make corrections. Our AI tool is taking all of this feedback in and improving as it goes. And our customers are happier because they feel like, hey, I have a voice. I'm being heard. I have real time. I don't have to wait for some supervisor to call me back. I don't have to wait for somebody to join the chat. I leave my feedback, I thumbs down, and I move on. And our process, if it's a thumbs down, if it's a negative, something needs addressed, we not only send an email, but then somebody reaches out the next day and will call you and say, look, we addressed this. We saw it. We're great. Thank you for the feedback. That has been a feature that our customers have been like, we've been waiting forever for this. And I will tell you, the automated SMS, the ability to take an AI functionality and plug it into the text messaging medium, that is something that our customers are waiting on in a big way, because so many of our customers pay for leads. They're dinged if they don't respond in X number of seconds, and competition is greater than it's ever been. So a lot of these lead aggregators will send it out to 5 providers, whoever gets there quickest, right? Which I actually think is irritating as a consumer, because I hate getting my phone blown up by 5 different people trying to catch me. So I think some of those models will change over time, but our customers are passionate about, man, when you roll that out, we're ready to use it.
Yeah, I've used Angie a few times and I've had that experience.
Same way. And I've expressed that across the board. So I think they're also trying to find the balance, right? They're trying to find the balance for what's good for their business, but also what's good for their customers and their providers.
Yeah. I'm going to go a little bit off script, because you mentioned something about, customers kind of helping out and making sure that the scripts are written to their liking and their participation. So, what's a typical onboarding process and onboarding time? Because I know technology for small businesses isn't probably something that they might be, have that much knowledge in or expertise or really want to get involved with.
Yeah, no, I agree. So this is it's kind of a why in the road for us, because we have a sales process, right? And so you say, yeah, no, that sounds great, right? Then we're going to ask you for another call, which is the setup process. And that is, it's like ascending Mount Everest to just get an SMB provider to get on another call, even if they've said yes, even if they're ready, because they're so busy, right? So we have worked to condense it. We now do live transfers. You don't even have to get off this call. Stay with me here. We're going to put you to the onboarding team, because we don't want to do it any other way. We need to talk to you. We're going to provide a couple of best-in-class templates that others just like you utilize. But we know for a fact that every SMB business is different, unique, and you're going to want to edit this, right? We also have to set up who's on call when, who gets escalation calls. Like there's a lot where our customers, I find, are like, okay, great, I give you my money, and then you're just going to start taking my calls. You're like, yeah, there's actually a lot to it here, right? If you have a CRM, we need to be able to log into it. What's the process on that end? We've got to, teach ourselves how to navigate your CRM. Do you want, update emails sent to your text or to your technician who's in the field? We can do that as well. Like there is a fair amount of setup because we want to do a quality job. And I'm just telling you, being an SMB from before, I would fundamentally miss that call 19 times before you finally cornered me, right? Because I would be like, look, I don't have time to deal with it. And you're like, no, I understand. We're trying to take this off your plate. Take a little bit of time with me. That's the challenge, because it's, I feel like what is a gift for us because we do a better quality job and we have a more robust offering is also a touch of a curse because it's taking us a few days and we're going to have to call you back and we need you to engage with us because we need your input. And the nature of the beast is it's also very challenging for our customers to be able to carve out the time to call us back.
Right. And then what about CRMs? Like you mentioned that you integrate with a lot of them. Are there, is it every single one? Are there certain ones that you work better with?
There are some that we work better with. There are some that are absolutely frustrating. There are some that are a pain for our customers because they have to purchase a license for us to be able to then schedule inside of them. Like I cannot put it out there as all roses and sunshine. I absolutely cannot. We have kicked around, like, why don't we just provide the CRM? Well, then the trouble is then they've got to move over. It's like moving in a ERP or moving different. People don't want to do that. They just want us to answer the phone. They don't want to move systems, right? So you have some larger providers. Like I happen to be a good acquaintance of Ara, who was the founder at Service Titan. He has built this massive ecosystem within Service Titan to where they do have everything for everybody, but their average user is a 5-figure a month user versus my average user is $250 to $500. So like that bucket of folks that are in our world, they're not well served, but it is frustrating for them because they don't want to navigate away from what they're already using. We have folks that are using Google Docs that are like, look, here's my schedule. Can you jump in the Google Doc? We can. Yes. That's probably not the best way for you to do this. Yeah. But we can. So every single opportunity for us to serve is a journey because 9 times out of 10, there are your core 10 percenters, right? There are the core ones that we see over and over again that every roofer uses this type of deal. Or the folks at Jobber are phenomenal because they're great at helping us all connect and making sure that their customer gets the same service that we want for their customer as well. And then there's others that it's an act of Congress to be able to get things done. And so you navigate all those pieces.
Do you find, just one more question on this, do you find that like per industry, like say HVAC or, for example, do they have their own kind of CRM built for that space?
There are.
Is that something that you're finding? Okay.
We have a partner by the name of Field Pulse that they ran into a lot of what we ran into. They wanted to be really good at one thing and they've narrowed it down to the industries where there's like 3 or 4 key industries that they rock it for, and they stay away from all the others, right? Because they just know just about every landscaping is unique to pest control, is unique to roofing, is unique to HVAC, right? So that's also the problem in the small business space is everybody's so unique. You have 1,000 different tools that try to hone in on different unique pieces. It's hard for a business owner to make decisions.
Yeah, highly verticalized.
It is.
So, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about yourself.
Perfect.
All right. As CEO, what does a typical day look like for you? And and what do you, how are you measuring success and what are you doing to help drive growth?
So everything that we do at Signpost today has to drive growth or the business doesn't survive, right? We're in a very competitive space, also part of a turnaround. So when I took this on, you had a company that had no identity, no real product brand. We had sold off the large portion of a software piece that we were selling. And the business was just kind of in this flux state, right? And they said, okay, take it over and go try to figure something out. High five. We'll talk to you later. I would say my day as a CEO is probably quite different than other CEOs because I also, part of cost savings efforts, we cut our team in half. We wanted to get very, very lean and be able to really double down on customer service and the quality of service that we provide. So I do not have the expansive teams that most CEOs would have. So my morning starts out with cash management, goes into product, goes into sales, goes into customer success, goes into engineering, and goes into whatever investor and bank calls that I have at the end of the day. So I would say it is very much a 5 a.m. to 8, 9 o'clock at night role, 7 days a week. And how I'm measuring success is forward progress. There's a lot of things that we are trial by error, or I guess trial by fire or track. We iterate very quickly and we say, okay, I think this is the direction. Customer feedback says no, change it. Right. And we are iterating, spinning and moving. 25 has seen a jump out for us where a lot of the bets we made in 24 are actually working in 25. So we've gotten a bit of a reprieve from the daily anxiety that is, will this work? And just listening to our customers has gotten us there. Simplifying what we do and listening to our customers has gotten us there. But the progress piece is big for me. Are we learning and are we not making the same goofy mistakes? Right. In the beginning, we didn't have our service model figured out. So every day I was talking to a customer who we had completely ticked off because we fundamentally were letting them down. We don't have those calls anymore, right? You still have your every once in a while where we've dropped the ball, but we don't have near the volume of what I used to try to make forward progress. I was putting out fires from things that we had burned down, and then we're not at that stage anymore.
Well, that's great. And then what about goals for the next, say, 6 months, 2 years? Anything that stand out?
Yes. So I would like to be known as the communication support, I guess, method, right? Like I don't want to build a certain size of business. I don't have a certain size of team. I would love to just be like some of the greats in the SMB space that when you think about communicating with prospects or customers, you think about Signpost. And I think that would be very fulfilling for my team because I've never worked with a team that works as hard or cares as much about the customer. And I've been a part of some really great SMB focused teams out there. I would like to see our team get to the point where that hard work pays off and we are just known for communication in the SMB space. And I don't really know where that takes us as far as size of business and everything. I think you're looking at a different capital market. You're looking at different investors. You're looking at things where maybe it doesn't take 1,000 people to go make that happen. Maybe it takes 100 people who are dialed in on execution and focus, and we have a core customer in mind, and we are delivering for that customer on a daily basis. But that would be successful for me, is to know that every single time a customer signs up with us, they count on us and we deliver, and we don't have those bumps in the road.
Yep, that sounds great. And then if there's, I would say, like one challenge for Signposts right now that you could wave a magic wand and have it just kind of disappear, what would that be?
I would like to not have cash involved with scaling a business. If I could make that go away, we have so much potential in the market that if I could hire 100 sales reps tomorrow and 100 customer success agents and double the size of my engineering team, I would be able to serve that many more people. Constricted by the capital markets, we're constricted by poor decisions made 10 years ago. And so we're having to, at a bite-sized piece, at a manageable rate, continue to serve more customers. I think it'd be great to be able to say, look, resource constraints, we are off. Let's go help as many as we can. Let's go down these verticals. Let's really nail it for professional services. Let's really nail it for healthcare. Let's really there's just a lot of creative things that we could tackle that obviously money is an issue at certain points in time. And you have to walk before you run, before you sprint type.
Yeah. One of my clients right now is in a very similar position. I started in December with them when they brought in a new CEO, kind of for the same reasons. And, part of the things that's going on with that platform is that it's trying to do everything. So I really appreciate how you understand the need for focus. So we're at the last question. So what excites you about the future of Signpost and the industry at large? And what are you most looking forward to as you continue leading this company into its next chapter?
What I really like is there's endless opportunity to solve communication. If you think about keeping it simple, right? Communication in our world has grown so much. I would even say just take every 10 years, right? Look, I'm pushing almost 50 years old. I look back at the last 30 years and I think to myself, about every 10, it has fundamentally changed. Look at where a cell phone is. I didn't have a cell phone in college, right? There's a massive jump there. And I think it's going to do the same with AI, the way that it's helping us just develop quicker and move quicker. What I'm interested to see is, where do my customers' needs go when it comes to communication? Is it always going to be about answering the phone? Eventually, you can have all this technology around you, but eventually the customer wants to talk to you. Eventually, right? You're locking this in. How do we get better at that? I think that you're going to see us go in multiple different directions when it comes to verticals, to your point. I don't think home service is the end all be all. I think there are people out there who are desperate for someone to help them pick up their phone, because you have the solopreneur world. You have a lot of people that have been now empowered to take off and start their own franchise, their own business. And answering a communication is always going to be a struggle. It's always going to be a struggle, because what you're trying to do is rocket for your customer. What you love, what you're passionate about, why you started that business, that's what you're trying to do. So I think that ultimately excites me the most. And as we've grown just a little bit, what I really look forward to is the different types of talent that are joining our organization that now I'm growing also, right? So I'm like rubbing shoulders with different people where you're like, wow, I never looked at it that way. And so I just think that you're going to see personal development, professional development inside of our team. And then you're just going to see us better solve for the customer, which who knows what that's going to transcend into. I really don't know where communication goes over the next 15, 20 years.
So I've got one more question.
Okay, good.
So this is one of my personal pet peeves is when I call a larger corporation, and this is maybe an idea, but you get that automated system.
Yes.
And you have to go through multiple different streams, and half the time they hang up on you, and it's actually impossible to speak to even an AI person.
Correct.
How do you see that changing?
I think those people are going to be behind the times. If you sell, and I've sold IVRs, DIDs, the SMS, my call, fire, easy texting world, that's all we did for small to medium business. Hundreds of thousands of customers, right? If you're in an IVR space right now, which is that push 2 for this, push 3 for that, push 4 for this, if you're not heavily invested in taking the load off of the user and making it where it actually navigates that based on a need and a conversation, that's where it's going. I'm producing an IVR that is AI based. That's essentially what my receptionist is, right? It's, look, do you need your bill? Do you need this? And we're learning as calls come in of what customers want and what, on average, where they're looking to go. The days of just having this static technology, it's going to be gone. Static technology is not going to work. It doesn't work because, to your point, you're also busy. You don't want to sit here on hold and go through this, right? Like, it's just, it doesn't work. And so if I had any bet to make, static technology, or I would call it and label it poor technology for SMBs, it's going to be replaced because the other technology is too easy to deploy.
Yep. I can't wait for that. And just real quickly, just what IVR stand for.
And I'm blocked. I have no idea. It is
it up.
You need to, I bet you ChatGPT would tell me, right? And IVR is literally that funnel, that funnel where it comes through and you put if then this. And I don't remember what the acronym IVR stands for.
That's okay.
That's my one letdown for you today, is I don't have that answer.
That's okay. Well, thanks for joining.
No, I've loved it. This is amazing. I would talk to you anytime. I love this.